Hi guys, me again. I decided for next video I would do my mastery game in the AT15. We're here on everyone's favourite camping map, Kamaran, and it's a tier 10 game, I think. No, tier 9. In my tier 8 British tank destroyer, the AT15. I do like this tank, but it gets a lot of stick. It's a very slow tank. It's got a very good gun, and decent armour. The armour isn't as bad as people make out, as we're about to see. Now you can see me going into this corner here. Now I don't have a lot of speed. I've got a T34 ahead of me and a T29 behind, so I've got a little bit of support. The T34 will obviously reach this corner before me, and I'm basically going to try and make it to the little rock that's just on the other side of this bridge, because I want to have some cover, and basically my plan is to provide cover for any of our forces moving forward. Doesn't quite work out like that, but it still turns into a very interesting game. So, can you get a T29 and a AT15 across this bridge? The answer is a definite yes. I say I do like the British tanks. So I started the British tank line as my starting nation because, well, I'm British, and why not? If we look at the map, we've got a fair few heavies taking the island of death. We've got reasonable support, so actually we split up reasonably well. We're a bit light on tanks on this side, but we've got a decent, we've got tank destroyer. I decided to go this side initially, but decide actually I'm not getting the view lines that I want, so I back off. We've drawn that we're actually 2-1 down at the moment, as we've just lost a second heavy. So we've lost an IS3 and a Tiger 1, so a tier 7 and a tier 8. They brought a T34. Now I wasn't sure whether that end little hut was destroyable. Well, it's not. Lord only knows. So that was a quick trial hit to see whether I could knock it down, which I couldn't. And their object 416 decides to get bold. And this is not a camping game. As you'll see, we're camping, but that's because we're very quickly on the defence, and this wasn't a game. It was a game where we're absorbing the enemy's attacks. The enemy's been very aggressive. They've got a couple of mediums, this little object 416, it's like a little sports car, that thing, and a T34, and they do get support. You'll see later this attack, this bit of aggression by these two mediums is rewarded with support. So I've got a few hits in, and I knocked down the building. So most of my hits and misses in this game are me knocking down buildings. If I fire and hit, I destroy, and I rarely fire and miss. It's either a speculative shot through cover or something like that doesn't miss, that misses. There was one bounce there on the IS3, but even that did damage, and there was a bounce. You can see that I've taken a bounce off something, I'm not sure which, probably the IS3. And I'm just started to put I've taken a hit there, but I'm not moving. I will take hits. I've started to put the damage into these guys. And you can see the T29's taken position where I originally started, and off to my right is the T34. So you've got two tanks with decent alpha damage supporting a tank which just keeps spewing the shells out. This is what I love about the British tanks. Everyone says, oh, alpha's key, and there are times when alpha does do the job, but just look how often I'm shooting this gun. And this is what I love about the British tanks, and I like the Centurion 7.1, but I'm debating loading the 20-pounder on it, because I just like the ability to have a gun pretty much always at the barrel. So we've dealt with their attack, which is mainly, admittedly, tier 8, but that's the same tier we are. There's no shot over there. I'm not sure what the T29 was shooting at then. And suddenly we're right on top because the three of us have absolutely dominated this side of the map. 2 enemy heavies, 2 enemy and 2 enemy not scouts, mediums are dead on this side of the map. I think we scared off a 103 at some point in the middle of all of that, which is obviously a tier above us, and we, us three are now going to move up. There's a Tiger one spotted, and there's the M103, which takes a huge hit off that T34, but gets it back. And here's the Tiger. I'll put another hole in there, thank you very much, and another one into the hole there, and carry on moving up. So I've only got 2 kills, but Lord only knows how much damage I've done. I mean, I've fired. I've only got 31 shells left, and this tank is not short on. Oops, that was not a shot. No, I'll take that. So that's 3 kills. But this is what I just love about the British tanks. When you've just constantly got shells in available. That one, I think it just landed short, and someone else got the kill, which is a shame actually, because had I got that one, it would have been even more damage done. So 6 cents lights up, but I'm not stopping. I know there's a 103 around here somewhere, but my 2 friends, although the T34 is looking very unhealthy, the T29 still got a lot of health left, and there's an E75, which so I've just destroyed all the enemy tier 9 heavies, and they're suddenly down to 12-7 down, all because the 3 of us. And whilst this is, I've done a lot of damage in this game, it's definitely not solo. That was me just knocking down buildings to try and get shots on this IS3, which, realising he's doomed, he's just on the YOLO run. Takes you wallop off one of the American tanks. I'm just panning around and using. You'll see the other nice thing about this tank, and that's the end of the game. You'll see that the other nice thing about this tank is that very wide gun arc. My first tank review is going to be the British Electo, and that has got a very wide gun arc. And I'll be sort of comparing it with the Hetzer and maybe to a degree the Stug, and that wide gun arc is just so flexible. You saw it there, and we will go on to the stats for this battle about now. Okay, so as you can see, yes, that was my mastery game, and I also picked up a nice steel wall. In all, I damaged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 tanks. At the end, it was 15. And if we actually look at the team score and go into the damage done, 4,762 damage, 5 kills for 1,623 base XP. When I posted that in clan chat, I did frustrate some of my clan members, some of whom were also grinding this particular tank or facing it fairly shortly, because obviously that did move the mastery level of this tank up a little bit high. We could see that the T29 did 1,609 and the T34 did 1,009. So even though they were putting out quite a lot of alpha, just the fact that I was constantly able to fire that gun easily out damaged them. They got the same targets most of the, very little time when I was the only one able to get a shot, yet I did more damage than the pair of them. I did get steel wall. I received 4,240 damage, hits received 13, only 2 penetrations. Yeah, there is that well-known weak spots on it, the centre of the gun, the top, the machine gun port, but in a game like that, they're just not getting a chance to even really aim at it, and you're keeping them at such a distance where aiming at it's hard anyway, so the chance of actually missing and hitting an armoured part is fairly high. We saw that the T29 actually you know, that did do badly. 1930 damage, potential damage to 3 penetrations. The T34, it got penetrated fairly regularly. It was lucky to survive the battle. But between the 3 of us, we got 7 kills, did the majority, you know, huge amounts of damage. And when you actually look at the detailed report, 40 shots fired, 29 hits. Most of those weren't misses, although some were, but most were knocking down buildings. 4,762 damage, 13 received, 2 penetrations, 11 non-pens. We spotted just 1 vehicle, but we damaged 8 and destroyed 5. And got 2,437 spotting damage, which isn't bad going. And nor is the distance travelled of 1 over a kilometre in a tank as slow as that. 96,331 credits received, of which was 3,767 profit. And of course, I just used regular ammo, so you know, I still made a decent profit, although the £20 is expensive in regular ammo. So that was my mastery game in the AT-15. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe thought, oh, actually this tank isn't as bad as I thought it was. As I say, I'm not sure when it'll be. I'm not going to do a video every day eventually. I'm going to start off with a few videos to try and get the channel having some videos, but once I've got maybe 10 videos up fairly quickly, I'll be moving on to one every few days. And see how that goes. I hope you're enjoying these videos, and I will speak to you soon. Ta-ra.